The way that colorism even happened is basically a byproduct of society, especially with regards to Korea in this instance, because there were rich people and there were not so rich people and there were poor people, and the rich people stayed indoors and did studying and stuff, and they were seen as elites and things like that. And even if they weren't rich, they were still seen as better off than the ones working in the field who got tan. Now, I don't know if they got tan and it passed down to generations and it was not like their original skin tone. I'm not a biologist, so I don't know all that. But I am simply saying that that was the byproduct of society. Now, the ideologies that came from colorism are morally wrong, right? Like not giving certain people positions at jobs, or not even giving people a job at all because they're a darker skin complexion. That's wrong. That's wrong. Not viewing darker skinned people in the same way as lighter skinned people in terms of you need to brighten your skin because that is the desired look. That is more desirable than having a darker complexion. That's wrong, right? That's wrong. That's wrong. And I can adhere to that. Telling people that because of the color of their skin, darker complexion, color of their skin, right, that they can't do certain things that lighter skinned people, more fair skinned people can do. That's wrong, right? Personal preference should not fall into that category because you prefer your skin not to be darker skinned. Now, whatever your belief is as to why you don't want it to be a darker skin tone, that's what defines it as being colorism or not. But we can't speak to people's true intentions because we don't know them. People went ham over the whole situation regarding Singles Inferno, when the guys got together and they were talking about their female counterparts for the first time. And one of the guys made a statement about one of the girls and said, yeah, she's so white, like she's so pale. I really like fair-skinned people, right? And some of the other guys were saying the same thing. A lot of black people got upset and voiced their concerns about what they said about the brighter-skinned girl. And one of them said, quote, "Really, you came on this show to talk about that? You should have dead ass stayed in your own hometown," end quote. That was a bit much. That was a bit much, right? That was unnecessary. All of that anger because they have a personal preference when it comes to brighter skin. Again, I don't think that was a colorist statement. Like I said, not everything has to be colorist. It's just so weird. It's sweet. I don't like that position. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. Like, why are you getting upset because he's talking about how bright-skinned another person who's not you is? It's like, I don't understand. Are you offended as a black person because they commented on their personal preference of skin complexion and you're trying to tie it into colorism to kind of mask your personal distaste for what they said? I don't know. But it came across as they were very hurt, personally hurt by statements that weren't even made about them or anybody of their race or skin tone. I just thought that was very strange to me that this black person, because it was definitely a black person that said that, you should have dead ass stayed in yo hometown. People get mad at me for saying that. You're stereotyping. It ain't just black people that talk like that. Yeah, well, I don't see people of a lighter complexion or people that have whiter skin than what people of color have complaining about this. And why would they? What reason would they even have to complain about it? So I can't help but believe that it's my people complaining about this. Now, again, there's an issue here because this girl is complaining, I'm assuming it's a black girl, complaining about a guy saying how he likes people of a lighter skin tone. She's upset about it, but she's black. Why are you upset? She's not talking about black people. He's talking about people that aren't black. He's attracted to them. Is he Mr. Bad Colorist guy because he's attracted to something other than dark skinned? She's treating it as if it's a personal attack. It's not. That's why I feel like it's a very victim mentality mindset to attack a person or shame a person for stating their personal preference of skin color and then saying, oh, it's colorist because I'm offended as a black person. We value our experiences more than other people's experiences who are not black because we are the oppressed black people. That's what I get out of that. I hope you guys are understanding my mindset on all of this. And I'm not saying that that's everybody. I'm just saying there are those that are like that, right? My point is that the world does not revolve around black people. So we need to stop acting like it does every time somebody makes a comment about their personal preference being of a lighter complexion, or every time somebody says a statement about, hey, you're going to get tan and if you go out into the sun for a long period of time, which is a statement of fact, by the way. But going back to what I was saying earlier, a white person or a person of a lighter skin complexion, skin tone, would not make a statement like this. It'd have to be someone who is of a darker skin tone to get upset by this. And maybe they were trying to take the moral high ground and try to call them out for being colorist when that wasn't even their intention. That's why I said I can't just go out and say, okay, Shiny was colorist for saying this. I can't do that. There's too many issues with that. There's too many issues with that. So please understand what I'm saying. No chuckles, no laughs. I'm being freaking serious. Don't, come on. There's just certain things that I can't get behind. And that colorism thing attached to every comment that's made about a person's skin color, I can't get behind that. If you want to get behind that, that's your call. You want to make that claim, you go right ahead. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. It's a slippery slope. People say it's a slippery slope to believe what I believe, but it's also a slippery slope in reverse. And for personal reasons, as well as just basic human decency, let's not assume that every comment made about a person's skin color or skin tone or complexion is always colorist. Always colorist. Colorist. They wore a do-rag. Racist. They're wearing cornrows. They're wearing braids. They're wearing dreads. Racist. I don't like that thought process. I don't like that mentality. N-word is a totally different story. N-word, y'all know what that word is. That word is not used to imply anything. That word is offense itself, personified. It's not an implying word. Me saying that I'm more attracted to lighter skinned women than darker skinned or whatever, that's not me implying that I'm colorist. That's me saying that I am attracted to. It has nothing to do with light-skinned black people being house slaves and dark-skinned black people working in the field. That's my personal preference, not colorism. It's not me demeaning or degrading anyone or disrespecting it. I don't know. I don't know how much more clearer I can make it, guys. I really don't. I'm giving examples of what I think is and is not colorism, and I'm giving them to you clear as day. So if you can't take this and at least understand where I'm coming from, I can't help you. I can't help you. I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm just trying to get you to understand where I'm coming from and respect what I'm saying. That's all I'm asking for. All right? I can respect your takes, respect mine. I can respect your opinions, respect mine. I can respect where you guys are coming from and your experiences, respect mine. That's all I'm asking for. Equal respect. I didn't call you guys uninformed. I didn't call you guys ignorant, didn't call you guys stupid, didn't call you guys dumb, didn't call you anything, right? Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. I didn't say that you're in denial. Don't do that to me, right? That's disrespectful. I'm trying to be as respectful as I can here. Jokes falling into colorism. I'm sure that there were many darker skinned Koreans being picked on back in those olden days of, when they were kings and stuff, being picked on because of their darker skin, as opposed to, the people that were of brighter skin. I'm sure that happened. Absolutely. Tying that into Taemin and Key's comments, I can't speak to their intentions, so I can't say whether or not they believed. And just by saying that, I know people are already going to be upset. You're denying it. No, I just can't tie it in because I don't know if that's true. Shiny's, Key, and Taemin were not made aware of it until black K-pop stans yelled and screamed about it. Then they're like, oh shoot, we said colorist things. We need to apologize. So I don't agree that it's colorist. I don't. That's my stance. I know about colorism, okay? And I can tell you about black colorism. Black colorism from us did not even come from us. It came from white slave owners taking lighter skinned black people to be house slaves, while the darker skinned ones worked in the field. They were those that were born of a lighter complexion. There was no working in the fields and becoming dark. No, they were born of a lighter skin complexion. Therefore, they had those particular people work as house slaves. Now, there was also the graping, the graping of black slave women by white slave owners, which produced mixed children who then also became house slaves. So I know where the colorism comes from. It's not from us viewing each other as lesser than because of the darker skin complexion, all that. No, I've researched. I have not found that. Now, if somebody else has found that, y'all let me know. Don't call me ignorant because I don't know either. It's just that I have not found that. Okay, I haven't found it. But that's where that comes from when I researched it. Lighter skin, darker skin. Lighter skin people don't get picked on a lot. Darker skin people do. I get that, right? And yes, to you guys, as a result of all that, it is colorism. I, however, don't bend in that direction because I don't adhere to the belief system of colorism. I don't view colorism at all. I think that's where we differ. I don't view colorism at all. If black people hadn't said anything, Shiny would not have been taken by surprise and apologized, right? A lot of black people believe that they were informing Shiny of their wrongdoing based on their thought process, right? Based on their experiences with racism more so than colorism. So they kind of tied racism into it. And that's where a lot of people come from. And I'm getting this based on the comments that I've seen under my video, right? It is morally wrong for colorism to have been a thing because it's a bad mindset. You're imposing on people who are of a darker skin complexion that they need to enhance their skin, brighten their skin, make their skin more fair so that they can be more attractive, because that is the absolute pinnacle of beauty in this certain part of the world. And that is wrong. Instead of seeing everyone as the same. I've heard, however, in this country, I don't know about in Korea, I've heard in this country, light-skinned people being picked on, mixed kids being picked on. I'm not saying it's right. And like I said in my video, because people didn't want to bring that up, I did say that I wasn't proud of the comments I made about the black kid. But I personally, I don't know what everybody else's opinion on this. From my experience, my thought process, my mindset, that's where I'm coming from on all of this. Not the objective mindset of every black person who feels this way. Just mine, right? I wasn't coming at anyone when I told jokes like that. I wasn't coming at anyone from the stance of, let me be colorist, right? Even if I wasn't, and you say that, well, it's still steeped in colorism. Okay, that's your feeling, that's your perspective, that's your opinion, that's fine. I'm not gonna sit here and argue with you on it. I just want you to understand where I'm coming from. But when I say that, in light of all of that, my thought process, especially today, and I don't make jokes like that anymore. So, you're holding me to something that I laughed at in the past and saying, oh, you laughed at it. Yes, I did, because it was my experience. It was my lived experience. I can laugh at my own experiences. I think I have the right to do that. If you're offended by me laughing at my own experiences, I don't know what to tell you. But by me saying that I do not adhere to colorism when I'm thinking about this stuff now, I don't think about colorism when someone makes a joke or says anything about their skin. That's a fact. It's a fact that when you go out into the sun, you're going to get a tan. It's a fact. No matter how much sunscreen you put on, it's just to protect your skin from the harmful ray of the sun. It's not going to keep your skin from getting darker. At least that's not to my knowledge. And I've put sunscreen on plenty, and I've gotten dark. And I honestly don't like myself being dark skinned. Do I have internalized colorism in me? I don't like getting darker. I like my skin color, my normal skin color. And for a lot of people, that's their normal skin color. And I also think that it has a lot to do with knowing the person. If I know this person, we're cool with each other, and I say something stupid, then they say something stupid back. That's not colorism, because of the relationship that we have. Shiny, they have a relationship, like a strong, long-lasting friendship relationship. They have been together for a long time. If Minho wasn't comfortable, I don't think they would have done that. I don't think they would have made those jokes. That's an extreme on some of you guys' side, right? That they're automatically being that way despite Minho maybe possibly not being comfortable. I don't know that. I don't know if he's not comfortable with it. I would assume he's comfortable with it. because they made the jokes in public, online, like they made them. So that's where I'm on this. I understand the colorism history, guys. I don't need to keep harping on this. I understand it. I'm aware of it. I've even given some examples as to what I believe colorism is and what the harmful parts of colorism. It is not colorism to say that you do not want to be a certain shade, depending on what you're thinking about when you're making that comment. If you're making the comment because you don't want to be seen as unattractive, there's many factors to that. It could be that you have a colorism issue like with yourself, or it could be a lack of self-love that has nothing to do with colorism at all and just your personal preference of skin tone that you prefer on your own body. Or it could ultimately be simply that you just like your skin tone the way it is. Not everything has to have a reason or an ism behind it. I think there's nothing wrong with somebody saying, well, I like my skin color the way it is and I don't want it to get darker because I just prefer my natural skin color. And there's no colorism in that, or even internalized colorism. So I would lean more towards that not everybody needs a reason for why they prefer their natural skin color over a darker shade skin color due to, the sun hitting your skin and making your skin darker. Sometimes the reason is in the statement itself. I prefer my skin color naturally the way that it is. Period. End of discussion. No ism. No, is there a deeper reason behind it? Is there internalized colorism in there? No. Sometimes a statement is simply that, a statement. And that should be that, honestly. Take people's words for what they are and not trying to assume or impose that there is some kind of internal colorism issue that's wrong with the person as to why they would make that statement. But if you're saying it because you prefer your natural skin and you don't want to have your skin get darker, right, because you prefer your skin color, I don't think that's colorist. There is no rule that says that if you prefer your skin to be the way it is, as opposed to being tan skin, then that's like internalizing colorism. I don't believe that. Like, everything does not have to be colorist. Just like every act by someone to respect our culture doesn't have to be racist or cultural appropriation. So I don't adhere to that. And if that offends you, I can't help you. That's my opinion. That's my belief system. Like, not all things are harmful. Not all thought processes are harmful or should be viewed in the same way. And that's where I'm coming from with this whole colorism thing. A lot of you guys have colorism ingrained in your skull, and that's why you think the way that you think about it. That's, I don't know, history passed down from generation to generation. Grandparents told the, kids, and then the kids told the, that, and then it goes on and goes on and goes on, right? Cycle. I don't adhere to the cycle of colorism or promoting it or anything like that. That's why I can isolate this incident and say that it was not a colorist statement that was made. And you can say that I'm wrong. That's fine. But I have my belief system, and it's not tied to colorism at all. It's not. Right? Colorism was a thing before I was born. But I never experienced colorism. I experienced racism. When darker skinned dudes would pick on me because of my head shape or my four eyes, or I don't know, they found anything to pick on. That was just how it was. Yeah, it hurt me. But I developed tough skin and started picking on them, and then that's how that went on. I'm not saying this to justify name calling. I'm saying this to prove a bigger point. So if that's all you're getting out of this, please listen carefully. I am saying that I do not adhere to colorism as a thing in my life. I don't really bow to it mentally. I don't think about it when someone says something about a person's skin color. That's not the view that I jump to automatically. The N-word is a different story for me. That's more of a racial thing than a color thing. The N-word is totally different. The N-word carries such a powerful negative connotation to it that me simply saying, oh, aren't you worried you're going to get a tan if you stay out in the sun too long, does not carry that kind of weight. It doesn't. It really doesn't. The N-word is a blatant disrespect. Whereas me saying, oh, it's kind of hot outside and the sun is beaming really, really, really hard today. Are you sure you want to be outside for too long? You're going to get a tan. That it doesn't carry that weight. I'm sorry. That's how I come to that conclusion, that colorism does not mean the same thing to me as the N-word. That's where I get that from, for the commenter that commented on how they didn't understand how I could come to the conclusion that I came to about the N-word, but not the same conclusion about colorism. That's how. I don't compare them in that way because, in my opinion, they're incomparable to one another. One of them is blatantly calling you something very dirty, very disrespectful, very rude, very demeaning. Whereas if I'm just saying something about somebody's skin color, it doesn't even have to be a rude remark, but because your mind is on colorism, you're going to take offense to it regardless of whether I mean well or not. So I think the colorism thing, it depends on the person. It depends on the person who's saying its intentions to offend or to just state a fact. And it also depends on the other person's reception of that comment or that joke. And it also depends on the relationship between the two. If you guys are not cool with each other and y'all make jokes, of course it's going to be offensive. But if you're friends and you're making jokes, it's just good fun between friends. So colorism does not play a part in every aspect of skin color comments. That's why I don't believe it's colorism. Even if you're poking fun at someone, the context, I think, is the deciding factor here. If I'm poking fun at my friend's skin color, right, and we do this sometimes, not all the time, right? Poke fun at my friend's skin color. He pokes fun at my skin color. We laugh it off. We're close. We're friends. I don't think that's colorism. If it's somebody I don't like and they say something about my skin color, it's obviously going to come across differently because you know they don't like you. And you know they're doing it to cause problems with you, to intentionally hurt you, right? And they do view you as inferior to them because of the skin color difference. So yeah, there's different factors to that. So I can't even say in good conscience that a joke between two friends could easily be colorism. That doesn't sound right to me. And that's where I'm coming from with the whole shiny thing too. Colorism did not begin in Korea. It was all over the place, right? America got it. Other countries got it besides Korea as well. So it's just a different kind of viewpoint, almost a different kind of viewpoint from America. We're more inclusive. We're more accepting of any race, skin color, even gender at this point, and sexuality. But Korea, not so much because they're more conservative. So I understand that as well. I'm factoring all this stuff in. And even at the end of the day, like I said, a joke between friends, I hold that position that it is not colorism because it's a joke between friends. Poking fun at my friend's skin color, him poking fun at mine, and then we laugh it off, and then we go about our day and we enjoy each other's company. That's not colorism. If you want to call it colorism, fine. That's your perspective. And I'm not here to convince you that your perspective is the wrong one. I'm saying that my perspective is not every statement about a person's skin color within the proper context, the proper circumstances can be considered as colorism. Now, the only difference between a simple joke between two friends and what Shiny did is that it was televised online. Like, it was shown for all the world to see. Millions of people saw it. And that, I believe, was the biggest mistake of Shiny, was to have friendly banter between friends being aired live. I think that was the nail in the coffin for that moment. And I think if there's anything that they're at fault for, I would say that was the mistake, not the jokes themselves. Because in isolation or by themselves, it's not a big deal. But in front of you guys, it was. And I say that because, my lord, look at what it's done. You know, there's so many black people that are upset because they were talking about someone who is a darker skinned member of the group and it offended them. And they felt every past experience or even present experience that they faced or face to this day by other people come back to hit them because Taemin and Key said what they said. And I think that is the only problem I see there, is that they shouldn't have said it live. That's why the staff had to apologize as well as the members. So that's my take on that bit. I don't know how much clearer I can be on this, I'm just recapping. Morally, it is wrong for colorism to be a thing. Telling people that they can't do certain things because of their skin color is wrong. There are more factors to consider when trying to figure out whether a statement is or is not colorist. And a statement is not colorist simply because you brought up a statement about someone's skin color. It has many factors. I'll list them again. There has to be an intent from the person who is making the joke. And in some cases, if you have good intention or bad, it does not matter, because the person who is receiving said joke or said comment could take it as an offensive statement. And lastly, the relationship between the two. Naturally, a person who does not like you, if you make a joke like that, they're not going to receive it very well. Whereas if you're friends and you guys do this all the time and you joke all the time, you love each other, you care about each other, you make jokes about their skin and they just laugh it off, make a joke on you, and we're all good friends. So there's more factors to consider than just, oh, you made a statement about somebody's skin color, automatically colorist, throw up the red flag. People have made really bad judgment calls because they don't know who the person is who's making a statement about somebody's skin color. They just look at somebody doing it and automatically say, it's colorist, it's colorist, it's colorist, it's colorist. And it becomes a huge echo chamber of, it's colorist, it's colorist, it's colorist, because you got to be on the right side of everything. So somebody says something about somebody's skin color, it doesn't even have to be mean or rude, but you assume the intentions of a person when you say it's colorist. If you don't know who that person is or you don't know anything about them, why would you automatically jump to the worst case scenario that what they're saying is colorist when you don't even know their intentions? You just assume it because you were hurt. You were told when you were younger that you're only pretty if you're lighter skinned. You are therefore projecting your feelings and your experiences onto people who don't even mean any harm by what they're saying. That's the danger in assuming that every statement about somebody's skin color is colorist. It's a big leap I'm not willing to take. So I need people to understand that while I go on with the rest of this video. And I'm not talking about obvious colorism from people who you know are colorist, or people who you know have some kind of really terrible bias, hurtful bias, harmful bias towards brighter skinned people and discriminate and disrespect darker skinned people. I'm talking about people online who make statements, or people on a television show who make a statement about somebody's skin color, and you automatically assume the absolute worst of them without even knowing anything about them, or you know stuff about them, and you base their past statements that you believe are colorist on what they're doing in the present, just like a lot of people did Taman and Key, when honestly I don't even think half the stuff they said about themselves not getting a tan are colorist. It's just personal preference. And at the end of this video, people are still not going to like what I say. So it doesn't really matter whether I make this video to clarify or not. People still are going to believe what they want. People are still going to be mad about what they want to be mad about. People are still going to make a fuss about things that I don't find offensive, right? That's their right to, but it's no longer my problem at this point. I'm coming as kind as I can to tell you guys how I feel about certain things, especially regarding colorism. I'm not going to do this again and again and again and again. Every time somebody misunderstands something or doesn't like what I say or whatever, people are not going to like what I say. I already know that. I know that before I put these videos out. I know that already. People are not going to like what I say, and it's okay. And I'm learning to be okay with it and not address every comment that comes into the comment section. I'm learning that. So when people say they took offense to something I said, of course I'm going to try to address it as best I can without like being mean or rude or anything, because I want to understand where you're coming from. But I also don't want people to disrespect me or say things about me that's not true at the same time, right? I want us to respect each other, right? So I'm trying to come at it from that angle and be respectful. That's all I want. Let's just respect each other. Let's not argue to win the argument. Let's argue to understand each other. And that's all I really ask for. I don't ask for you to switch your thought process to mine. I'm not telling you you're thinking wrong and that you need to conform to my prescription of what I'm giving to you. I'm saying I have my thought process. Let me try to explain it the best I can. And I hope you understand. If you didn't get clarity and you want a follow-up video, I can do that. But don't make weird assumptions of me that aren't true because I didn't do what is, in your view, a good enough job in explaining, okay? I don't know how else to say that. I tried to explain myself in the best way possible. Yeah, I chuckled when it came to my experience, not to downplay colorism or to dismiss people's personal experiences, right, with colorism or racism. I was laughing at my personal experiences. If you took offense to that, I don't know what to tell you. I apologize for the tone I took in that moment because of the effect that it had on you guys. I don't want you guys to feel that way, but don't misunderstand. I'm laughing at my personal experience. Maybe I should have said that. Maybe I should have been clear about why I was laughing, but it's just like, oh my God, I have to be clear about so many things. That it's like, oh Lord, like I really have to, and even now I'm chuckling and some people are going to get mad about that. God, I hope not. Like, I really hope people don't get mad because I chuckled just now. Walking on eggshells with people is just, ooh, I don't like it. Like, just take my words for what I said. Like what RM said. Yeah, I can't remember his name. Just because he shared the guy's song talking about some bad religion, people automatically assumed that RM was being Islamophobic. And then he had to come and clarify, listen, I said what I said. Please just respect my words, and these are my words. Like, that's kind of how I'm like. Some of you understood where I was coming from and that I wasn't laughing at what people think I was laughing at. I really appreciate that. But others did not like that I laughed at my own personal experience because they thought I was laughing at colorism, or that I was laughing because I was laughing at the jokes I made or whatever, which I was laughing at the jokes I made. Yes, it was a past lived experience that was very interesting to think about, going back in time and thinking about it. So yeah, I think I have a right to laugh at myself and laugh at what I said, because I find it childish that I even said it. But I'm clarifying that so that people can stop assuming or saying things about that aren't true. I wasn't laughing at people's experiences. I wasn't discrediting or discounting anyone's experience. I was not laughing because I found it all amusing. I was laughing at my past lived experience as someone who joked about things. I don't view things from the lens of simply colorism. I view things from, it's wrong to joke on people like that, unless you are in a company of friends and you guys do that all the time. Unless you do that all the time, you guys are cool like that, yeah. But joking on other people, picking on the little guy, I don't like that, right? I don't like that. I don't like disrespecting people like that. So I don't really do that no more. Now, someone in the comment section of a video that is totally unrelated to this one informed me that I said in the last video that I said those jokes to cause pain and hurt. That I said that in the video blatantly. I did not. I said those jokes to clap back when people were trying to bully me and treat me like a doormat. That's what I said. I did not say them to cause pain and hurt. Now, it could have hurt their feelings, of course, or it could have just rolled off their back like rain. All I knew about them was that they were bullies. Either way, I've already conceded that this sort of thing was wrong for both of us to do to each other. And I will say that I did misspeak in that video. I called them friends. I did try to clarify and say acquaintances because we weren't really friends. We were just cool with each other until they started acting stupid. And then I would call them out. And then they would make a joke about something about me because they knew I was right about them. So I would in turn say something about them. And I picked on all kinds of things, not just skin color. I wasn't thinking in my head, let me be a colorist and say something about their skin color because I don't like their skin color. I don't give a crap about their skin color. I made those jokes without colorism attached to it. I think people are attaching the ism to my words because that's how they view it. That's not how I view it. Now, I will say that, yes, I was saying really mean things about their skin color. So yes, if you want to say that it's colorism, I will concede and say that sure, it probably was steeped in colorism, but I didn't know about it. So I am conceding that point to you guys. But anything else, I still have a strong, firm opinion on regarding what I believe to be colorist based on the intentions of the person. Which, again, my intentions were not to attack him because of his color at all. I picked my target. Could have been the eyes, could have been the nose, could have been the ears. So I attacked the skin. People have attacked me for my skin. I don't care about it. I don't think about it like that. That's what I'm trying to say. You guys are coming at it from a colorist standpoint. I never did when I was younger. And I also made the statement that I wasn't proud of what I said. And for some reason, people have skipped over that as if I didn't say it. So it's not like I'm trying to defend what I said. I'm just telling you what my mindset was when I said it. And my mindset was not on colorism. So please don't put that in my mind as if that's what I was thinking or something. That's your perspective. That's your mindset. That's your mentality. I'm not going to conform to people telling me that I should see it as how they see it because that's the quote unquote right way to see it. Sorry, I'm not doing that. I have my own mind. Like, you're just gonna have to deal with what I put out. Or don't listen to me. I can't make the same comparison to my jokes in the past to Shiny's jokes to Minho because unlike the people I was dealing with in school, those guys are actually real life friends that have been through a lot of stuff together, all kinds of stuff together. So I don't want to come at it from they're absolutely colorist. And some people will say, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're friends. It's still colorist. It's still... Well, we're just going to have to agree to disagree on that because it's just not my mindset. That's the mindset of everybody who says it's colorist. That's not my mindset. I'm not raised that way. Sorry. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that. So take it as however you want. But I have my own mind, my own opinion on things. Respect it. See it for what it is, not for what you want to make of it. Because I'm not saying this stuff and chuckling, right? So that you can then go and say, oh, he's ignorant. He didn't bring up a thing about colorism. And because of that, he's ignorant. And if you still believe that those words are not colorist, then you need to do more research. I wasn't raised to believe that every joke and or comment made about people's skin color is colorist. Maybe some of you guys were. I was not. Was I raised wrong? I don't believe so. I think I turned out pretty well. I think I turned out pretty well for a 32-year-old. My parents are great parents. They raised me well. My parents are not racist or colorist or anything like that. Neither am I. I just don't think that everything is colorist. Like, we're painting things so black and white when there are areas of gray that we're not considering. That's what the video was for. It was to give my perspective, which is a gray area. And maybe I didn't do that very well, but here in this video, I hope I've clarified it at least a little bit. And in the future, can we please stop arguing to win and start having healthy dialogue to understand each other? I would appreciate that. Thank you for listening. So let me just recap one more time. I do not believe that what they said is colorism or that it's steeped in the culture of colorism. It's just statements that they made that were supposed to be in good fun. That's as simple as I'm putting it. That's how they presented it. That's how I'm putting it. I take it as I see it and as it's presented, not as something that it could possibly be. Could possibly be colorism, but because that's not how they presented it, and because of the context that they've been together for a long time and they understand each other, I do not believe that they would do that, knowing what they know about Minho and if he was uncomfortable or anything like that. So I don't want to assume that. I know my worth as a black man, and I know my worth as a human being. And I don't let things like this trigger me or get me upset. Even with all the past experiences that I've had, I don't allow this stuff to get to me because I don't think that way. I don't think racism or colorism every time somebody does something, cultural appropriation every time somebody does something. Again, that's the nature of my content. I am the opposite thought. My thought process is the antithesis to the most popular thought. And by popular, I'm not saying that it is trendy thought. I'm saying that it's the majority thought process on a lot of the stuff that I talk about with regards to race, with regards to color, with regards to cultural appropriation in K-pop, things of that nature. So my thought process will most likely be that. There are some things that I agree with you guys on that I will talk about in a video. If I believe somebody's being mistreated, I'll call it out. If I don't, I'll say that I don't think it was mistreatment. But thank you for listening. That's all I gotta say. I did this as nicely as I could, and I'm losing my voice. So I'm gonna go. And I hope that I've clarified it just a little bit. Colorism being such a huge thing in society, I understand it is, but I want you guys to understand where I'm coming from, see my heart, stop assuming weird things about me that aren't true, like me being in denial or me speaking from ignorance or anything like that. Like, I don't like that. Don't do that. I'm trying to be nice, please. But yes, I understand the history, and in light of all of that, I'm still convinced that because of everything SHINee's been through as a team, as a family, highs and lows, laughter, tears, pain, joy, all of these things that they've experienced in their lives together, for me to believe that automatically they were saying colorist statements because they happened to do with Minho skin color, especially knowing that one of them was a clear joke and it was not meant to be taken seriously, but people took it seriously. I can't in good conscience call it all colorism, okay? That's where I'm coming from, okay? And I hope that you guys are not upset because of what I said in this video. If you are, again, I don't know what to do about it. I don't know what to do about it except be who I am. I'm not a K-pop idol, so don't try to tell me how to think and how to be and all this other stuff. Just let me be who I am, and I'll let you be who you are, as I've always done. Thank you for listening. I'm done. Love you guys. See you in the next video. I have to edit this other video, so I will talk to you guys later. Bye.